Aloha, everybody. Aloha. Welcome to the Coconut Wireless with Mel and Uncle Charlie. And thank you for joining us. We'll be, let's go. Let's just get. All right, folks. January 9th. Good morning, everybody. And let's bring in the big dog, Uncle Charlie. What's up, Uncle Charlie? How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine, and good evening, everyone.
God, you look crystal clear. You sound crystal clear like you was right in the room next door. Really. But you're
Oh,
not.
thank you.
You're far,
Yes.
far away.
On the west side of the beautiful island of Kauai, the weather hasn't been cooperating lately. A lot of rain, but well needed. So, what might be a miserable time is a blessing. We could be 20 degrees or 30 degrees, like some parts of the mainland U.S. And before we do anything else, again, to those families who have been affected by those wildfires in California, our prayers go out to all of you. And it starts bringing back memories of the Lahaina fire. But on a this time you look at it, it's just a huge scale, grand scale, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
So our
it's
prayers, yeah.
prayers obviously. Also, some sad news today, Charlie, and I'm not sure if
Mhm.
you got the message from our sister.
I
Um,
just saw it. Yes, I just saw
yeah,
it.
one of the original villagers, Patty Kawakami, and I don't know if Patty's on yet. She if she's not, she will be. But Patty lost her son today, 53 years old. Um, Patty again, one of the original villagers, has been on this show. I think she's been on every single one of them.
Yes,
So I just want to ask each and every one of you along with Charlie and I, we send our condolences, our love, our prayers. 53, man, that's young. And Patty, for those of you that don't know, during the pandemic, her and Melissa Bolton and a bunch of the villagers did so much for us on Kauai, um, sending over uh, stuff, masks and sanitizers and I think for a lot of you viewers that weren't around during that time, Patty was very instrumental for all of us here in Kauai.
hmm
So our hearts go out to Patty and her family, and prayers for the soul of Mike. It was his name, and yeah. So tonight, before you put your head on a pillow, say a quick prayer for Patty and her ohana, and for Mike, um,
yes,
who we
exactly.
lost today. Aloha, Sam. Let's get some of these comments on. Kaimana is on. What's up, my man? Another one of our original villagers, Susan Pereira. What's up? Reen Muraoka. All the old timers are here, Charlie. It warms my heart, because you opened up with the California wildfires. I did want to spend a little bit of time on that because I was watching the news tonight before the show, and over 9,000 structures so far. 9,000 structures so far. Places like Pacific Palisades, Altadena, the areas are being wiped out. Over 180,000 people displaced so far. I think 7 deaths. They expect that count to rise. Uh, the Lahaina, as it relates to life, the loss of life, significantly higher. They didn't have the warning systems like California did, but at the end of the day, Charlie, this wildfire is creating, and it's not over. It is far from over. So yeah, we prayers out to all of those people there in California, and like you said, Charlie, all of the friends and families. I had a call today from a lady. She called me about another issue, but her daughter lives in West Hollywood, I believe she said, not far from the fire. She has pets. She has there's nothing that her mom can do here. The girl cannot just jump on a flight and come to Kauai because of her animals. It takes time to get the paperwork in place to bring your animals here to Kauai. So within Hawaii, there's a lot of people, as you mentioned, that have family or friends that are in that danger zone. So again, our hearts and prayers go out to each and every one of them. It's just sad, just so sad. You,
Well, I do want to say,
Yeah,
that
you had me worried, Charlie. I thought your doggone mic could go broke again.
no, I just
Okay, okay. Good
muted
stuff. Good stuff.
myself. But I do want to say that, after watching several of the televised news, it was the heroic efforts of some of the, you know, that high priced area that's occupied by like people like Steven Spielberg and, that caliber, not caliber, but that, in the industry, I should say. And one of them was just telling the neighbors, if you have to evacuate, please leave your keys in the car. We'll, Neighbors were helping neighbors move it out of the way. Unfortunately, some areas they just abandoned their cars, and the fire department had no choice but just to bring in one of those bulldozers and just bulldoze a path for fire apparatus to get into the fire zone. So I just want to send a shout out to all those brave souls that stayed behind to help their neighbors out and move their cars, get into a safer area, so the emergency personnel could get to the fires. And you know what's even it's even crazier. I saw a YouTube video on, because in China there's some populated areas, countryside, that are so uh, stacked with wooden homes, wooden structures, that if a fire was to light one, it'll catch on. And so what the government did is they installed these pop-up, uh, just like fire hose heads, but like on a sprinkler system. So if there's a fire, it'll pop up, and the function is really not to put the fire out, but it's to saturate the roofs of each of the homes, to to at least have a fighting chance to save the homes. I thought that was brilliant. I think we may be moving into the direction, not you know not too far down the road. I
Yeah,
think.
one of the problems they're seeing, and I was kind of surprised to see this, but even with these areas that are burning, a lot of rich people, a lot of mansions, a lot of million dollar, multi-million dollar homes, and I know a lot. I hear it. I hear people saying, well, those guys get money, blah blah blah, but not everybody living in those areas are rich.
Mhm.
And they interviewed a guy who, Patty's on. Aloha, Patty. She just got on. We just asking the village to send their love and support to you and your ohana. So sorry for the loss of your son, Patty. Oh God, my heart is broken. But just know that the village is behind you, and we're there for you, and you know how to reach us if you need anything. So, um, yeah, God bless, and we love you, girl. Uh,
Yes.
but as these fire guys was going into these neighborhoods, some of the hydrants had no water, no water.
Oh,
I mean, and they were interviewing the firemen right there, and it was showing. And one lady had confronted the governor and just saying, "What the heck is going on?" And the governor, he's clueless, right? I mean, how would you expect the governor to know that every fire hydrant it should be working, but it's not? And
well, there's
unbelievable.
there's there's some lines that are connected, and that when they're just unloading huge volumes of water, it will tap into that source.
Yeah,
I've heard of it happening before. I mean, even your own home, if you got like spigots, I mean, faucets around the outside and you water in your yard, you turn on two of them and you try to turn on the third one, you're going to see how much the pressure had dropped. So I think this is multiplied by 100 times, especially the amount of the volume of water that the firefighters are using, right? So it could be, but there's all possible answers. And right now it's a tough time, and I can see why people get frustrated. They want to save. England had this product, and this came out years ago, and the same way they seed the clouds to bring water down to the earth, uh, they had this product that really, it looks like a small, looks like a boba. you know the,
the
the round
drink.
ball. Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
there's fluid inside, but it sort of it actually looks like sternum. And they drop it from the helicopters around the property, and it coats this fire retardant. And they've actually done studies where they show the fire creeping up, and it'll stop right there. So in its liquid form, it's like this heavy gel that shot over the homes. Everything else was burnt down except for the home that had this gel. And I think, we got to start thinking about ways, if we're going to put investment in our homes, we have to do everything we can to save it in case there is a disaster, what California is facing right
Yeah, it's like in Lahaina, right? If not for the winds, the size of this fire would have been much smaller. Would have been quicker to contain. But with the winds, they had one of the fire captains out there. He said these embers. They found that some of these embers that were creating new fires because of the winds were traveling as far as 2 miles, Charlie, 2 miles away. So that's why when the evacuation order comes out, you gotta go because these fires can start at any time based on these embers and with those strong winds. So it's just a
now.
horrific thing they're going through right now. And now is not the time to be finger pointing and blaming. Now is the time for that communities to come together and help each other. And it's sad. They're interviewing these people. They're interviewing this guy. He lost it all, everything. His house is. You cannot even tell that there was a house there. It's just burnt to the ground, and it was his whole life. His whole life, 51 years in that house, and he's not rich. And the reporter asked him, "So, at what point did you decide that you had to leave?" He said, "When my son-in-law grabbed me by my shoulder and yanked me out of there and told me we out of here, or it would have perished." So, um, yeah, it's just a sad time right now, and just
Hmm.
all we can do is pray and hope for the best. I don't know how much longer insurance companies can even sustain themselves with the amount of disasters around the country, the amount of
Hmm.
damage throughout the country. I don't know. It's just devastating. I guess it's the best thing I can say. It's just devastating.
Well, I would like to shift gears a little, if I may.
Sure.
And I don't know if you saw the news the other day, but our favorite person, the head of the Department of Law Enforcement, was before the Ways and Means Committee asking for more money. And in the first ask, it was to create some of these new departments, and one of them being the law enforcement for ag. And I said, I think you guys already get DLNR, so what? So today here in Kauai, I talked to one of the DLNR supervisors, and I said, "Hey, they want to set up this ag." He goes, "No, that's what we do." But I said, "What's with that?" And the other thing was, he asked for, I think, was it 8 million to start the
Yeah. Yeah.
highway patrol to enforce highways,
Yeah.
and making the bold statement that he spoke to the police chief and all that, and needless to say, he should have checked to see if they were going to interview HPD Police Chief Joe Logan, which they did. And he said, nobody came and asked me. And so I said, da 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 da. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
what a bobo. I mean, you just don't do that kind of stuff.
you know the solution. It's so funny how our government works. It's when you fail at your job, when you're not doing your job to the level that you're supposed to be. The quick response is just ask for more money, ask for more positions, ask for. They're talking about all these. What have I want to know? What have they done? Uh, how many projects have they done with the fireworks over the last year? How many interceptions have they made? How many actual pounds or tons of fireworks did they get from each of these seizures? Because
Well, I'll stop right there, Mel. He he, he claims that now it's coming in by air, commercial airlines.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, okay. I mean, so they intercepted a package that went from the postal service, right?
hmm
200-pound package. They intercepted. I don't know how many packages can fit in somebody's mailbox at 200 pounds, but that's what he said. Okay, unless I heard wrong.
that's what he said.
So you got a name on the package, you got a delivery point and a receiving point. So now you get if you get your warrant, right? and you know what's in the package, you go under a controlled delivery and you see where it goes and you start working your investigation. We've heard zilch. So I'm like, are you keeping this top secret that maybe 2 years from now you're going to catch the big fish? But in the meantime, we're just going to see the skies of Hawaii light up on New Year's. It's those kind of things that I mean, Mel, think about it. You being law enforcement, I being in law enforcement before. If our chiefs were to think that way back in the day, I think our police careers would have been very, very short.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's just it's like I got a call or email from someone that said they gotta catch the guy lighting the firework. They gotta catch the guy lighting the firework. And I think we had this discussion at the last on the last show.
Yeah,
But it's a crime is a crime. You investigate the crime the same way for every crime. Yeah, some crimes require extensive or special forensic investigations, but generally speaking, whether it's a theft, whether it's a robbery, whether it's a fireworks violation, you get the call, you go to the scene, you talk to the witnesses, and you determine whether or not you get probable cause to make an arrest. When in what case you got to have an eye, the cop has to see the actual person light the fireworks. Charlie, if you, me, Auntie Steph, Auntie Patsy, everyone was in your garage, and we saw the neighbor who you know personally go out there and light an aerial firework, and we call the cops, and the cops come, and you, me, Auntie Patsy, and Auntie Stephanie says, "Yeah, we saw John Doe. It was John. He lit it up. We told him to not do it, and he lit it anyway." You telling me that there is no crime? That because we never the policemen never see? No. You take the four statements, you validate the statements, they're credible witnesses, you make the arrests, take them in, and let the jury or judge decide on credibility. That's how it works. But this. Oh no, we cannot do nothing. We cannot do nothing because the officer has to witness the. Not where in the heck is that written in the books? I don't know. Maybe they changed the book since we were cops, but
I know some like petty misdemeanors and misdemeanors. The police officer like shoplifting, right? They will. You can tell them, oh, so and so did it and all that. But the person who placed the person under arrest for shoplifting, they will transport and process that person. But everything lies with the person who made the citizen's arrest. But if it was a felony, they won't accept the citizen's arrest. They'll make the arrest.
yeah,
So that's why I say through the investigation, I mean, like you said, if it was a murder, and you gotta watch him do them, but then too late already. You could have prevented someone's death, but no. I like catch this guy, so I gotta watch him commit the murder first. Okay, now I get him. I mean, how crazy is that?
Honey has a good question. What if the neighbor has a lighting on the fireworks on video? Oh, sorry, cannot because the police never take the video.
Yeah,
No, but I think you get my point. You treat it as any other investigation, and you determine
yes,
whether or not you have. Now, I spoke to one of the. We had the discussion. Kalani Kapuniai was on last week, and he was talking about the thefts and break-ins that are happening out on Kikaha. And I'm working on a community meeting out there because I the persons whose grandmas or grandparents' items got stolen did reach out to me and did message me, and I am following up. But they found the iPad with the kid, but the police said, "Sorry, we couldn't do nothing because he said he found them, and we cannot prove that he stole them." Hmm. Again, Charlie, did they change the policy since we were police officers? Did we? Did they? Is possession of a stolen item not a crime anymore? Did they change the law?
no,
I
I
don't
think
know.
I think it's similar to when you have a motor vehicle accident, right? Back in the day, we called a tow wagon, we moved the vehicles out, and we tow them to whatever base yard, and the owner of the vehicle or the insurance is responsible for all of that, right? Not anymore. You see Kauai's roads where they have a lot of banged up cars parked on the side because we'll move it on the side and that's about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all over. I'm like, what happened to our beautiful Kauai? We got cars strewn all over the place. Was involved in an accident, but you know, I guess there were problems before with between the relationship between the police department and the tow company. So I guess now you get into an accident, we'll help you clear the roadway, but trust me, your car will stay where it's at. And they
Sit
put,
there
yeah,
with the yellow tape around.
yeah,
That creates more of a distraction as the drivers are passing in the next morning, and they're like, everybody rub a neck. They're like, see what's going on? Is that a homicide scene? Is that a crime
yeah,
scene?
yep,
Uh,
exactly.
Lorraine, if it's at your house, the owner shouldn't they be charged? I don't know if you're talking about the fireworks, but yeah, absolutely. And number one law, number one rule in the fireworks law, all fireworks are prohibited from being lit on public property. So I mean, no enough tickets in the ticket books to go out and sight. So I think there's officers have some discretion. And when we're talking about fireworks and the cultural fireworks, we're talking about everything other than those bombs and aerials. So,
Mhm.
but yes. Now, Capena, what's up, my man? Perfect. Not can prove you had slapped the kid either. You cannot. I think he meant to say you cannot prove that you had slapped the kid either. So yeah, exactly right. You get the guy,
Yep,
get your iPad. You go there, you whack him one time across the head. You get your iPad back, and when he call the cops, did you see me slap him?
yep,
Did you see me slap the kid? Same thing, Capena. You're right. But anyway, I am working on that follow up with them and plan to have a West Side Kikaha community meeting so we can have the police
yep.
inform the residents
Hmm.
what, in fact, we can do because it is out of control. So, anyway, I, I want to get to this question. Oh, Charlie, anything else on that before I go to the next? I just
No,
had
no,
another
no.
question. I had another question from Honey, and this has been coming up a lot on the feeds of social media. What do you think about U-Haul buying the property next to Wilcox, and how some people seem to think that the county should have bought it or buy it from them? Um, we live in a free market system. We live in America, and that property has been there for a long time. Um, what do I what do I think about it? I think God bless them. I mean, a lot of people say, well, the county should have bought them. But how, with what? With what? It's like I wish we could. I wish I was a multi-billionaire. I'd buy it and put up affordable housing, but I'm not, and the county isn't billionaires either. So, what do I think? I think that U-Haul saw an opportunity that they can put up a commercial property. It is commercial, and it's putting up a need storage facilities. Yeah, I don't have. I, yeah, if you're asking me if I wish that would have been used for housing, yes, but that's just unfortunately, again, we live in America, and people have the right to purchase land and do what they want, and that's what's happening there. So we'll see.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you'll see more of that. Grove Farm right now is selling their lands. They're selling their lands, and we are. I have actually spoken with Don Horner, and he is very anxious and willing to work with the county to provide lands to the county for housing projects. So, we're working with the administration. Council, remember this: council cannot go out and buy land. We don't have that authority. It's the administration. So I can tell you that the administration with Derek and Adam Reversi, who's our housing director, they're in communications with many landowners. But you got to understand, it's got to be property that is is practical to be used for housing near infrastructure, and we got to have the funds available.
Hmm.
So yeah. Um, so Mr. Zuckerberg, if you want to give us some land, and Mr. Horner from Grove Farm, and Dan Robinson, and every all of them, we're here. But it's again, we don't have an unlimited budget as well. So anyway, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Well, I will say this much: there is activity going on, and I believe it is Grove Farm activity close to the airport. You'll see all the dust screens up and so forth, and big things is in the works right now. So I think you know you'll be seeing some things coming up soon,
Yeah,
and I
that's going to be the it's like an industrial park. It's going to be a lot of opportunities for businesses to relocate and create. I mean, yeah, and I think they're a good partner. I will say that Grow Farms has been a good partner with the county, and they continue to be good partners with the county. And yeah, we hope it we hope it works out. Shelly, Shelly, my classmate Shelly, what's up, Shelly? Nice to see you on the show. Building housing is great, but our roads can't sustain the traffic. Well, yes and no, because the traffic. We're trying to build housing for the overcrowded homes that we have right now. So I mean, technically, you know, if we build a 50 unit subdivision, 50 families are going to be able to move in, and chances are those families are already living with another family. The cars are already here. It's still on the road. So, but you are right. We have infrastructure issues, not just with roads and highways, but with everything else. So, yeah, it's a very trying time for us.
I will say one thing, um, and I hope no one gets mad when I say this, but like anything else, I mean, I would love to have a mansion, but is it within my means? And the answer is no. For the life of me, I see too many people buying properties that right from the get go, based on just simple equation, right? Just based on the simple equation that they're not avail, they can't support themselves once they purchase that, but they make a go of it. And I don't know, I don't know why they do that. I feel for them, but then it just creates a problem thereafter. So I'm hoping and praying that when housing does become available, that it's within a price range that people can attain at that point. Um, it's like when you get married. I used to always say this when you heard me say it before, Mel, when we are performing to the honeymooners, or if they're doing a party to celebrate, and I told them, remember one thing: you get married to someone, it's not for you to go in debt because you got to throw an elaborate party. If you have a potluck, they're going to understand as long as they have family and friends there to celebrate that joyous time, right? It's not for you to be out of your means and make one huge, huge wedding reception, only to find out it's like your college tuition take you years to pay off. You know what I mean? And you're just starting your life. Just do it simple. That's why people go, "Oh, you eat low." Hey, a lot of people do that because they don't have the funds to make and they'll do it later when they can save up enough. And I just hope and pray that people just kind of heed their financial warning, what you're capable of doing and what you can't. Just stay within your means.
Yeah, that's the new world we live in, man. Who can have the most expensive wedding? 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, 60 grand. I mean, like, why would you want to do that? Oh,
Yeah.
well, you know, hey, if you can, go for it. I'd say if you can afford it without having to borrow and get a loan, do it.
Hmm.
But, don't go into debt, like you said, Charlie. Good advice. Good advice. We were frozen for a little while. I'm not sure why, but we are back. So I'm not sure how much you all missed, but we're sorry. I don't know what the heck's going on. The internet, I guess. Maybe Zuckerberg, because I mentioned his name, maybe he had pause him, maybe give us a little warning. Melissa is on. How are you? Aloha, Melissa. Aloha. One more thing I wanted to talk about, because there's again some more. A lot of people posting. The Princeville had a craft fair at the park in Princeville. You know that community park by the community center over there, and I guess for the last couple of years, 3 years, they've been using that as a craft fair,
Hmm.
and unbeknownst to I think a lot of people, the any that was when Princeville went to the. This is a long time ago. What, 50 years ago now? I don't know how long ago Princeville went up. 40 years ago. Anyway, when they went and got their zoning permits, there was a condition that that park would remain a park, remain a community park, and that there would be no commercial activity. because they wanted to keep that as a park for the kids and the families and so forth.
Right.
Uh, about 2 or 3 years ago, I guess Princeville Community Association allowed the craft fair to start, and it grew and grew. And I think they got over 50 vendors now every Saturday, and in fact,
Hmm.
even on Sundays. Well, some of the residents made a complaint, and it went to the planning department. Planning department investigated and found out that they are correct. The zoning permit prohibits any commercial activity on that park, so they shut it down. And now there's a lot of complaints about why are we doing that. I'm getting emails about how dare I allow that to happen. And understand the zoning laws are there when a developer comes to Kauai and they want to develop, whether it's Princeville or it's a shopping center or whatever the case may be. It goes through the planning commission. It doesn't come to the county council. It goes through the planning commission. They have all the public hearings. The community has an opportunity to chime in and say what they want, what they don't want. Then the planning commission puts all these conditions in the permit, and then the permit gets approved. Well, the owners are bound by those rules. You cannot change, whether you agree or disagree. And when times change, like now, maybe the community wants the craft fair there. The landowner can go back to the planning commission and amend their zoning permit to now remove that prohibition, and then they can have craft fairs. But understand the reason why we have those rules is to make sure that what the community originally was told would be there is going to be there, and that you cannot just drop some commercial operations. Now, yeah, do I think I love craft fairs? I love sunshine markets. I do, but you cannot just drop that in. It's just like House Lots Park, right? Can you imagine if somebody just decided to, hey, let's go convert the House Lots Park or the Homesteads Park or the Waimea Town Park, and we just go get tents and lease them out and go ahead and sell your goods. You cannot do that, right? You got to get permits. So I know it's upsetting a lot of people, and a lot of people relied on those business revenues. So Princeville right now needs to get an amendment to that permit, and depending on what the community wants, they might be able to have it. So I just wanted to put that out there because there's a lot of chatter on social media. I am getting bombarded with emails and messages, as I always do. Like I made that happen. I didn't, but I guess I'm the lightning rod. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that.
No, I think this is what's going to happen if we're not careful. And you're absolutely right, brother. I think when that rule was first developed, who would have thought down the line something was going to happen? But again, something did happen. Now, for those who think that we should allow it to happen, then what's good for one is good for everyone else, and they can
Yeah,
do it without seeking amendments to their original zoning or the rules, the prohibitions, like you said, right? The
yeah.
next thing you know, you're gonna have this out of control, and then you're gonna say, "Hey, but the rules are in place." Yeah, but you grumbled about it over here. You want it to be lax over here. Well, remember, it will start jumping
Oh yeah.
like a grasshopper down the line, and I think people got to remember that.
So Shelly was asking. She's being sassy here. She says, but are the people complaining owners? Let me put it up so everybody can see.
Yeah,
Owners or
thank you.
visitors of timeshare. No, I cannot tell you because the complaint went to planning. I don't. I would have. What I've heard is that there were multiple complaints from residents in the area, but I couldn't tell you if there were. I cannot imagine there were visitors, or because the visitors are the ones that really support those vendors. It was a huge market for the tourists.
Hmm.
I think some of the business owners at the Princeville Center, as well as down in Hanalei Town, Chinyoung Village, I believe they were also complaining because that was impacting their businesses. As the visitors was coming down to the North Shore, they would stop at this craft fair or sunshine market, and before they would get into the businesses that have structures, they have stores, shops, and they're paying leases and insurance. So again, for me as a council member, I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't hardly go out to the North Shore. Um, but it's what the community wants, right? That's what we do. We're the voice of the community. So it's what the community wants. So at the time Princeville was developed, when it was being planned, the community said we wanted the park and we want that park to remain a park. 40, 50 years later, that sentiment may have changed. So it's, they could go right back to the planning commission, get the zoning amendment to allow that or remove that prohibition, and it could continue. But again, it's going to be driven by the community, not by the council, and definitely not by the planning commission. So
Yes.
anyway, Honey says, I love Honey because she's so knowledgeable. And BC watched every single council meeting live as he filmed it for Hawaii for a long time. If a property is not zoned commercial, then having 50 plus vendors is a huge violation. That person who advertised and made money from this knew it wasn't commercial. Yeah. So anyway, the planning did their job, and now they're being hammered. But you gotta. I mean, that's just what you gotta do.
Yep. Exactly.
Hey Charlie, today I was on Oahu. I went to Oahu today. I went to the investiture. You know what is an investiture?
Yes.
What is an investiture? Wait,
And it,
before you answer, does anybody any of our viewers know what an investiture is? Put them in the comments because I honestly didn't know.
mhm.
I had to go look them up. But what anybody know what an investiture? If you already watched the news, you probably already saw it. But what is it, Charlie? What is it?
An investiture is a process in which you will invest in a chair. That's an investment. I don't know. You're asking the wrong.
So we get this invitation for an investiture.
Yeah.
I had to go look them up. But anyway, an investiture is a nice way of saying, um,
We're going to invest in your chair.
oh, we still watch all the tape council meetings. We're addicted to, honey, go get some help. Go get some help. Therapy. Maybe we'll bring a therapist on just for you, honey, and BC, if you're still watching those things. Um, Sean Andrade, my good buddy, he was on the same plane, but he didn't go to the investiture. But yeah, he knows that we went. Anyway, the investiture is like an inauguration of the OHA trustees. So today was the inauguration. So myself, council members Cavallo and Kuli went to represent Kauai, and it was awesome. We got to see Kai Kahele be sworn in as the new chair of OHA. Today, four of the members were actually they were newly elected members. That was Kai Danahuna, reelected as the Kauai Nihao trustee. Dr. Akina, Dr.
Kelly,
Kali, yeah, he's an at-large, and Luana Alapa from Molokai and Lanai. And then we also had Kale Akaka, Dan Akaka's granddaughter. Brickwood Galatera also was. He was not there, but he's also a trustee at large. Carmen Hulu Lindsay was there. Keone Souza was there, and John Wahieda IV was there. So it was awesome. It was an amazing ceremony. A lot of culture, a lot of hula, and Napua. You remember Napua Greg? She's now Napua Silva. We have welcomed her into the Portuguese club because she married one Portuguese. But Napua was there and she sang along with Ikaika Blackburn. It was just really nice. But importantly, was Kai's speech about the new direction of OHA and that they really gotta start focusing on the culture and the local residents. So it was awesome. It was awesome, Charlie. And a lot of people there, Charlie,
yeah.
told me apparently they were villagers as well. I don't know who they are, but they watched the show and a bunch of them came up and said, "Make sure I tell Uncle Charlie hi." That was so
Oh,
sweet. That was so cool, man. So
yeah.
cool.
Well, you know that number one, Kili'i, I grad 1 year behind him.
Akaka?
Lou-
I mean,
yeah, Aquino.
Akina. Smart
Yeah.
man. Smart man.
Uh, uh, Brickwood was several years before me, and then Luana was behind me, graduating. I think she was in a 79 or 80, uh, one of those classes. But I remember her from school, and as well as after meeting her, and she was real heavily involved in a lot of your beauty pageants on a high level, and she was a fabulous instructor. So
She
I
wasn't she a Miss Hawaii?
yeah,
Yeah, she was,
I
right?
believe she
No,
was.
she
Yeah,
yeah, she was. Luana Lapa was a she's still very pretty, attractive, and obviously a little older, but she's still the same.
yeah, she
They're
always
like a
tough.
really good group of trustees that I think will do well
The
for
only one
us.
I haven't met was George Whitehead. Is it the fourth, the
Well,
fifth? John Whitehead. Yeah,
He's the
I haven't
fourth.
met
He's the
the fourth.
fourth, and Governor Whitehead was there, and he has a nice little shadow
Yeah,
beard.
yeah.
He looked really cool, man. I told him, I said, Gov, I wish I could grow mine like you. It's so nice. Like he has it trimmed by some expert or something. But
Well, a lot of Kanaka Maoli they grow their beards. They taper it similar to Kalakaua.
yeah.
Like how Palani Van had is.
Oh, Palani
And
was the man. Yeah, that's a good looking Hawaiian. That Palani Vaughn
yep,
with his yeah.
yep.
I don't can even grow this doggone thing. And that Portuguese, I supposed to have that full beard, but no, not happening. Not
No, me,
happening.
I get part Chinese, so it's just like I get the thing. They call it the kung fu shadow. So
And then they had a Kahu Kenneth Makua Kane. Isn't he a musician as well, Charlie?
yes, he's class of. I think he's I think he's class of 73, or he may be class with Brickwood, but he's exceptional songwriter, musician, multiple Na Hoku Hano
Yeah,
Hano award
okay.
winner. Um, I remember him when I was living in Maui. He and Carl Villaverde had had the group called, I believe it was called Mango.
Oh,
Is that? Yeah.
had a,
And
yeah.
yeah, they would play in the lobby at the Kapalua Bay Hotel. I mean, unbelievable,
Well, he's a
unbelievable.
Kahu, and he did all of the prayer. He did all and
Waihaho Church, yeah, yeah, he's
yeah.
at Kauai.
Well, yeah, we were actually at the what the heck is it called? Central Union Church on
Yes, the
Baratania,
one right by the Poly. No, 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 no.
right by Kapiolani Hospital, right
Hospital,
there.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
but he did the prayer, and then he also did a message, and he talked about the Hawaiian culture and how it's Oha's. He challenged Oha trustees to
Mm-hmm.
maintain the culture, and he talked. You know that Wahine that I go testify at the Honolulu City Council meeting, and she said that
Oh,
the Hawaiian language was dead,
yeah.
and he brought that up, and he said, I know a lot of the Kanaka got really angry, and he said, but you got to understand that that lady wasn't from here, because he had three elements, and it was oh my god, I can't remember the first one, but the second one was education, the third one was elevate. Oh my god, I can't remember the first one. I should have wrote it down. But he said it's the OHA's trustees' responsibility to educate people because they don't know. So rather than get mad now, I mean I'm like, Kahu, it's easier said than done, right? Somebody come up and say the Hawaiian language is dead, you like slap them, right? You just like, what is wrong with you? But being
Mm-hmm.
the Kahu, he's saying the person didn't know any better. So it's our job, he's telling the trustees, it's your job to educate people. Whether they listen or not, it's not your kuliana. Your job is to educate. But that's the kind of guy he was, and his whole message was
No,
awesome.
he's putting it out there that our accountability is to send a message out. Whether the person that you're giving it to on the other side, whether they want to listen or not, it's on them, not on you.
Right.
You've done your job by sending it out there, and that's what he said. But I will say this: the more and more I work down at the airports, I see that there's a shift in our visitors visiting the island. I mean, I've been seeing more and more respect, and I think a message has been given out somewhere They're coming here very, very respectful. Like 2 years ago when I first started at Lihui Airport, and it could be because of COVID winding, well, COVID and all of that. There was just so much hostility. Now it's like it. There's this. If you don't know, they'll ask the question. There's no assumptions being made, and sometimes when there's assumptions being made in the wrong sense, that's when we as local residents we get upset. No, it's there's been a shift, and I appreciate it. I'm just so thankful that you know, and even when they're leaving, they says, "I hope and pray I get to come back." But I hope and pray that people that makes rubbish on this island, please pick it up because this island is too beautiful to dump rubbish all over the place. And I thought that was just so kind of the person to say that. I mean, they didn't have to, but they saw that I had my airport badge on, and they came up to me and to say that I just love your island, and la 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 la, went on and on. And I spent a good time standing in the TSA line with this person until they got to the front, just to hear, because I kind of like to share with and full disclosure, Mrs. Iona is representing Kauai and is on the Hawaii Tourism Authority. I like to share some of the things what we can and cannot do. So one of the questions came up. She said, "Honey, what is your take of the Lihui Airport?" And I said, "It's very simple. It's the first impression a first-time traveler has coming to Kauai, and it will be the last impression that a traveler has going back home, whether or not they're treated nicely." And so that's why there's there, there's 2 points of getting it right, and that is welcome with aloha and send them off with aloha. And I tell my staff, you know what? Just be humble and just show the aloha spirit, because a smile is free. You don't have to pay for it. Just smile. And and so a lot of times I'm walking around, like baggage claim, guys are getting huffy, and I smile. And if they don't smile back, hey, you're the one having a bad day, not me. But I hope my smile can be infectious to you, to let you know it's okay. But I just wanted to put it out there that I've seen a shift in attitude, and maybe I was intimidating them to be nice, but I know I wasn't doing anything like that. It's just I've been noticing there's been a shift.
Yeah, one of the like TSA, obviously they don't fall under your control, but
Hmm.
why is it that on Kauai the TSA employees are so rigid? Is that a thing of Kauai? Is that how Kauai tells their employees to act? I mean, I understand. Listen, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying it's very noticeable that and I've been through a lot of airports in this last year, and it's amazing how every airport that we have been, Patsy and I, or if I'm traveling with the council or whatever, it seems like every TSA place we go, the people are so pleasant, and on Kauai they're so structured and rigid. Empty all the out of your pockets. Take all the water. Like what? You don't need to yell, number one, because I'm right here. But what, I don't understand, Charlie. Is that how these people are being trained? Because it's like all. I mean,
No, no. I think from from what I see, you know that per capita, Kauai is the busiest airport. Hard to believe, but when you get between 7 and 9,000 individuals coming through those gates a day, and you're in a confined space, it is it does get nerve wracking. There's number one, and I made this comment, and I may get bashed for this, but I will say this. I think what they need to do is number one, it's okay to have history at your airports, but you gotta beautify the place. I don't care what. I I I see people come in. You look at everything; it looks really dingy, and it's just outdated. That's all. And then the bathrooms. That's the first thing they talk about is like, whoo, and I go, I know, you know. So, but I hear it all the time. And like, what am I supposed to do? And the guys are working so darn hard, and it's just, they just gotta. The place needs an uplift, a facelift. Really, it has to, because when flights cancel at night, and unfortunately, Sue does a great job in trying to, and her team, trying to find as much rooms as possible to house a lot of these people. And sometimes when you got 2, 3 flights that cancel, you're talking about over 100 people sleeping at the airport. Where there's been times I go in there, the padding for the massage chairs they got in the lobby
Mhm.
area at the airport. The traveler will take it off because they need someplace for a lie down. You go to Maui, you go to Honolulu. If you're gonna crash out over there, they got places where you can lie down comfortably. Kauai, I mean, even at Hilo Airport, they got that big lobby area before you take the escalator to go up to your gate. They got all places where you can lie down. Not not here in Kauai. Doesn't happen. And so, I kind of feel it, and the place just needs a facelift. You want it to be welcoming, that when they come in, wow, this is beautiful, you know,
You
kind
don't
of
think
stuff.
that mural, that mural that looks like a bunch of intestines on the wall, you don't think that's appealing? I
Well,
remember when they unveiled that many years ago, and I'm like, wow, like what is that? It does. It looks like intestines, just like one big sculpture of
I think when
intestines. What the
when
heck?
someone when someone developed that, you got to tell yourself naturally, when you get through past TSA, what do you do? What do you do?
Me?
Yeah,
Straight to Starbucks.
okay.
Straight to Starbucks. Gotta go
But
get to
most
Starbucks.
people are in a rush to get to their gates, so they're not going to stop and look at a mural. Very few, right? So I remember, I used to play music inside the lobby area. And right where TSA came out had that pole right there, right behind that. Raymond Dwell would put up the speakers, and in the center area, that's where we perform.
Hmm.
Now then, push everything into one corner. How many people going in that corner for watch music? Very little,
Yeah.
very little. So, you gotta think outside the box and say, hey, I come through. I'm frustrated already because I mean, you asked about TSA, and I really can't speak for them because my relationship with them, it's wonderful. Got good guys, Supervisor Ray Kalapatia and his team. We have a close collaboration. We work together, and I understand they've got a set of rules that they gotta follow, and we do the enforcement, and it's not easy. Yet I know what you're saying because I can be like a foot away from the guy, and brother say yelling about the water, and I said, brother, I can feel your spit on my ear. You don't need to yell that loud.
I'm not. I'm not saying that they're rude. I'm just saying it's the rigid. The structure is so
Yep.
strict. It's almost like a paramilitary. And again, it's not a criticism. It's just an observation. Like, cause, and
Yep.
what triggered that was when you said you tell your staff the smile is free, and
Yep.
that was the whole reason for my comment was that it is right. If the guy came up and instead of yelling to me if my pockets are empty, if he smiled and said, "Are your pockets empty, or have you cleared?" Totally different. The receiving of that message is totally different, and I don't
Y-
sense that. I don't get that in the other terminals. I mean, the other airports. They're everyone is like, and I understand Lihui is TSA is very short-handed. So you're right. And when you get 14 out of the 20 passengers coming through and they get water in their damn bottles, you get angry. I understand that, and so yeah, definitely not a criticism, just an observation. And appreciate what
And
they do. Appreciate what they do.
and one thing that I do, I always learn. In fact, I learned this from you. One time you told me, sometimes it's always good to lead by example. I remember you telling me that, and even though I've done it, it just didn't come to the forefront until you said it to me. And so one thing, like said, the baggage claims at the end, I can tell when people are waiting because number one, there's not enough signage to tell you where the Toro pickup is. So they think that Yeah, going on the curb and I go flag the thing down, right? Because they think they're the only one picking up, renting a Toro. Every time I walk in there and I see somebody bewildered, there's got to be something. And so I go, "Excuse me, are you waiting for a taxi or a Toro?" And then they'll tell me, "Oh, a Toro." I says, "Okay, you need to stand there and don't worry because the Toro lot is located 5 to 10 minutes off site. So the vehicle comes around every 10 minutes and it's a large sprinter van with the word Turo." And they go, "Thank God, we thought we were in the wrong place." I said, "No, because they're regulated for pickups only in this side." And because I know the routine, I will tell them, "In the meantime, get your contract ready in your phone because you're going to need to show the driver that to get on that bus to go get your car." "Thank you so much, sir." Then you got the ride shares, right? Like Uber and Lyft. People are trying to flag them down as they're coming down the straightaway, right? Past the center
Hmm.
crosswalk. And I said, "Sir, if you're going to get an Uber, they pay for that spot around the tree. And that's why the signs is they can only be picked up there. They cannot stop here or they're going to get cited. That's why they're going to signal you." He goes, "Oh, we didn't know that." I said, "Now you know. And you have a great stay, okay?" Just being pleasant enough to tell people that I'm trying to show my employees it doesn't hurt you or hurt anybody just to go
Hmm.
that extra mile and tell them, because you see these people, they're like befuddled. "I come off the plane, I got my bag, where do I go now?" There's very little signage in there that says Turo. Like they're in the mainland, they're used to taxis. They line up in a row, taxi will come. Not Kauai. You got to pick up the phone off the wall and call, right? Because that's how it works. So until they understand the system, somebody has to make an attempt to go tell them you need to do that. And I enjoy it. It gives me an opportunity to talk to these people.
Yeah, I just now realized that the signage at Lihu Airport is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I never noticed it
No,
until
when
now.
you no when you come out of, okay, say so, not so much gates 3 and 4, because as soon as you walk up, you got to turn right to go baggage claim B.
Hmm.
A lot of times we get people coming out of gate 6. That might be United Airlines, right? They walk out, they see baggage claim, they go to B, not knowing that they got to go baggage claim A. And they'll wait for the bags to come out at B, only to find out that's not United Airlines. Somebody should tell these poor folks, or the gate agent when they go down A, when you open the gate, just tell the stewardess is, "Give me a minute, I want to make an announcement." So that's what they do at Hawaii now. They'll make an announcement.
Yeah,
Okay,
they do.
because a lot of the stewards and stewardesses, when you come on a Hawaiian flight, you notice when they're not familiar with Kauai's, your bag, you can pick up your baggage at the lower level because they're talking about Honolulu. They're not talking
Hmm.
about Kauai, and that's why. I mean, it was almost like when I was in a police department, right? Alert, alarm, tire warehouse on the Diamond Head end of the building. Excuse me, this is Maui. This is not Honolulu. you know, so I think people gotta do that. You gotta do that.
It's got to make it easy and convenient. That's it. It's a secret of success. But
Yep.
anyway, well, that hour went by quick, Charlie. We had a lot to talk about. That's why I love this show because you never know what we're going to talk about. We never know what we're going to talk about. And we're back on track. Doing this every week, either Thursday or Friday, depending. Charlie's still playing music out there, Troy. So if you're on Kauai,
Oh, we had so much fun last night. It was crazy. People from Oregon, Washington, Chicago,
Charlie, I
and
was there.
last night,
Yes,
where were you?
you went right past me. I was like, I must have pissed him off. You went right
Huh?
past me, right out the door. I was like, wow, what did I ever? What happened? That's why I had to text you today, bro. Are we still on tonight? Because I thought maybe I pissed you off.
I am so sorry
Nah,
about that.
just kidding, Charlie. Just kidding. I was not.
I would never. Holy schmoly!
No, just kidding,
Yeah,
Charlie. I was not there, man.
the people that, in fact, we had a group from Oklahoma, and they came in there, and we just did our last Hanaho, and she said, "We heard about you. We heard about your group from the place they were eating." and I think they were down at Duke's, and they came up and they said, "Can you just play one song for me? It's my birthday." And so it was a group of six. So of course, John Mahi,
Oh
give him that
yeah.
opportunity. Oh yeah, so he did. They wanted an old. He didn't. He did. No, he did an Elvis song. Wise man, and that thing, whole thing, and we did the whole thing, and she was so grateful. So yeah,
Melissa, I will reach out to Dr. Dworkin and see if he wants to come back on. I'm sure he does. We got to start bringing back some of our old time guests so we can talk story and catch up on everything. I think that would be fun.
yep,
Before we go, I did want to once again, to um, to our good friend Patty. Condolences out to you and your Ohana. And again, you guys know how to reach out to us if you need anything from Kauai, or if you just need any, even if you just like talk story, give us a buzz. Charlie and I would be more than happy
yep,
to do
exactly.
whatever we need to do to help you through this really tough period.
Mhm.
So again, to the villagers, make sure you
Thank
go
you.
say a quick prayer for Patty and her Ohana tonight. Um, and for all of those people out there in California, that's it. Again, it's not even over. It's far from over. So prayers. Anything else, Charles, before we sign off tonight?
Well, one, I would like to say, love you, my brother. You got me going there. But, but I'd like to also say thank you to the villagers. And just know one thing from me: this is very therapeutic for me to get on and talk about the current. What's current. Sometimes I get a little opinionated, but I'm from the old school, and that is, if things are done right, you get good results. I also want to leave with this. Just know that we had so much fun during. I mean, it was fun in a sense that we could share with you about COVID. But I know that that time has passed, and we probably won't be able to replicate that. But we can make a new future for us. And so going forward, that's what Talk Story is all about. Making a new path for Mel and Charlie to rekindle our friendships with all of you out there. So just know that we may not be able to replicate what we had, but we sure as hell can have fun going forward from this point on. So I love you all.
Love you too, Uncle Charlie. And the reason why we do it, Patty. Look at Patty's comment. You guys made my evening special. That's what the village does. It's not Charlie and I. It's not. It's the village that was created by accident, and yeah, we just want to have some fun. We just want to
Yeah.
talk story, and like Charlie can sing and dance, I cannot. So this is all we can do. But
Now, just remember now, folks, I can only sing and dance. I cannot dance and sing. It won't work. I gotta sing and dance.
all right, until next week, you folks. We love you guys. God bless. Take care, Patty. From all of us, take care. God bless. We'll see you
Yes.
guys next week.
Love you guys.
We hope.